Welcome to the 4-second rule. I'm going to show you how to build an AI that calls and qualifies and converts your Facebook leads before you can even blink. Look, if you're still calling your Facebook leads manually, you are bleeding money, quietly. You've maybe got 30 seconds to call the leads when they click in, because if you don't, they either lose interest, they forget about you, or they just book a call with one of your competitors. That's exactly why I built this AI sales agent. It calls your Facebook leads on the spot, qualifies them, books them into your calendar, and starts the sales process way faster than you would ever be able to do it yourself. This is what you're going to get in this video. First of all, I'll show you a live demo so you know what to expect. Second, I'll break down the 3 reasons why this is a no-brainer for renovation companies. And third, I'm going to show you step by step how to set one of these up, literally from a blank Chrome screen all the way to a working, functioning agent. And I'm even going to provide all the templates down in the description. This video has a value package of over $4,000 because this AI solution is exactly what we sell here at my agency Vant AI. If you're looking for something slightly different, or you maybe need help setting one of these up, you can book a free AI consultation call with me in the description, use the first link and sign up for a strategy session. We'll build out a complete plan on how to use AI in your business and help you implement it as well. I look forward to hearing from you, and now let's dive into this free build. Okay, so let's say somebody just found you on Facebook and is now filling in your Facebook form. They'd add their name, their description of what they want to get done, the phone number and their email. Just so you know, there's nothing in the calendar here yet, and also in the test CRM in Google Sheets, there's also no entries yet. Just so you know that the agent actually does all of the work. So as soon as we submit this form over here, you're going to notice that we get a little phone call. Nice.
Renovations. I noticed that you filled out our Facebook form regarding a new renovation. Is this a good time to talk for 2 minutes?
That was pretty quick. Yeah, sure, no problem.
Great. I saw you mentioned a bathroom remodel. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. We want to remodel the bathroom. It's basically a complete remodel of the bathroom.
That sounds like a fantastic project, Liam. Just to confirm, which city in California will this renovation take place?
We're in San Francisco.
Perfect, Liam. And when were you hoping to get started on this project?
Ideally, like next week would be good. We're ready to move forward pretty quickly.
That sounds like a great fit. We'd love to set up a 30-minute in-person consultation. What date and time works best for you?
Could we do maybe tomorrow around 11 a.m.? Does that work for you guys?
All right, I'll just quickly check our calendar. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. works perfectly. Could you please provide me with your address?
Yep, I'm in Maple Street 18.
Got it. Just to confirm, your address is 18 Maple Street, San Francisco, California. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep.
One sec, I'm finalizing the appointment. Your appointment for a 30-minute in-person consultation is confirmed for tomorrow, April 11th at 11 a.m. at 18 Maple Street, San Francisco, California. If you have any questions or need to reschedule, feel free to reach out. Thank you, Liam. And we're excited to help you with your bathroom remodel.
Nice. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Now that you've heard what this AI sounds and feels like, let me share with you the 3 top reasons why this is a no-brainer for any company running Facebook ads. First of all, it calls them instantly, right? Speed to lead is extremely important. If you've ever dealt with Facebook ads, you know this. And the AI doesn't wait a second. It doesn't wait to have another sip of its water. It calls like this. Now, if you were to try and replicate this without AI, you would have to hire a human who sits there, whose only job it is to call the leads the second they come in. Now, the big problem with this is, first of all, it's expensive, right? You have to pay them multiple $1,000s a month just to call these leads. And the second thing is they might work from 9 to 5 or from 7 till 7 if you've got a really good one. Now, this is actually the second big benefit because this AI calls 24/7. It doesn't care if they submit the form at 10 a.m., at 10 p.m. or 3 a.m., right? It calls them instantly. And you can configure it not to call at night if you'd like, but it is ruthless by nature. And it can also handle up to 10 calls at once. It's a limit that you can actually increase if you need it. But yeah, it has a lot of grunt behind it, so it doesn't get overwhelmed easily. Which actually leads me to my third main reason why this is such a good investment, is that you don't have a pile of leads that are uncontacted. because so many times you have a lot of leads and you just don't get back to them, and they're wasted and they're lost and you never hear from them again. This doesn't happen anymore because the AI ruthlessly calls every single lead the second they come in. There are no wasted leads anymore. And actually, the fourth main reason, I've just remembered that I wanted to add one more thing. You do not spend time with unqualified people. Every single phone call takes up some of your time. And if you spend time with people who are just browsing, who are kind of interested but not quite sure, and who are ultimately just going to waste your time, that's not something that you want to deal with. And as you saw in the call, the AI asked them a few questions, it qualifies them, and only books appointments with those who actually match your criteria, which you can set up as you want. So now that you've heard why this is such a cool investment, let me show you how to build this from scratch, step by step. I'm literally going to start at a blank Chrome screen. I won't show you how to set up the accounts because that's something that I'm pretty sure every single one of you can do or has already done. And I'm just going to show you how to use the blueprints, configure them, and hook this thing up to get it up and running. Okay, so here we are on a blank Chrome screen. Now, I'm going to show you how to set this up step by step using my templates. So first of all, head to the first link in the description and go to the Google Drive folder where you're going to find three things: the prompt and then two make.com blueprints. We're going to start with actually just setting up a spreadsheet. Really simple. Go to spreadsheets, and this replaces a CRM. You can just use your own CRM, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use Google Sheets. Now in here, you're going to follow along. Just make sure that the columns are in the right order. You're going to have the name, the phone number, the email, project, and appointment. Going to put those in the same order. And you're done. Wonderful. Now just name this something like test CRM. And beautiful, you're done. Next, go to make.com. And if you have an account, log in. If you don't, you can just create one for free. And next, you're going to click on create new scenario up here. And then you're going to go into the Google Drive folder and download the first blueprint, which will be caller make blueprint. That's going to be the first one. Now, once this is in here, you're going to have to do a few things. First of all, you can delete this because we're going to replace that with the actual Facebook module. Then we are going to go to Google Sheets. You're going to have to choose an account. Make sure it is the same account that your Google Sheet is under. I've got a few hooked up here, but choose the right one. Oops. It might ask you to, true, actually that's quite good. If you haven't done this yet, you can click on add over here. Just call it whatever you want. And then you sign in with your Google account. Once that's done, you click on Spreadsheet ID. And then the one that you just created, Test CRM. Wonderful, you're done. Now, next, we will have to go into this module later, but for now, you can just click on back and on save anyway, and that's the first one set up. Nice. Then you click on create new scenario again, and then import blueprint, and now we're going to choose the second one, which is called calendar booking make blueprint. And here you're going to do a few things. We'll start at the beginning. So you click on this module here, and then you can choose when your workday should start. So this is basically telling the AI you're only allowed to book from 6 a.m. till 5 p.m. And once you've specified that, you can insert your email. This has to be the same email that your Google Calendar is under. So in my case, God, I've got so many Google accounts, I lose track of what the email is. There we go. Okay. Once you've done that, always make sure to click on save, by the way, and you are done with that. Now, next, we're going to have to configure these two Google Calendar modules. Once again, you can click on add here. You can call this whatever you'd like. Sign in with Google. And beautiful, you're done. Click on save, and then down here, you just choose the one that you just selected, which will be this one here. Oops, actually it's this one, the one that we just created, the YouTube test calendar. That's why it's always good to name them something that you recognize later on. Now here, calendar ID, make sure that this is the same email that your Google Calendar is under. So in my case, this one. Once you've selected that, you can choose the duration. This is a 30-minute one. You can change this to 1 hour if you'd like. That's completely up to you. Next, go on to Google Sheets, and here you can choose the same Google Sheets connection that you just established, which will be, I believe, YouTube test caller. Yeah, that looks good. And this one we're going to have to configure later on. Click on save. Do the same thing here. YouTube test caller. Beautiful. And I believe, for now at least, we're almost done. Next, you're going to have to create an account on OpenAI. This has to be a ChatGPT Plus plan, and you will have to then, once you've created the GPT Plus plan, you will go to, I'll do this over here, OpenAI for developers. Click on this first link, and then you just log in here again. And then once you've done that, you click on Settings, API Keys, Create New Secret Key, call this YouTube Caller Test, or whatever you'd like. If you don't have a project, you can just click on Default Project or whatever you want, and then you click on Create New Secret Key. Now I'm going to blur this out, of course. You copy this key. Make sure you copy it because it's going to be hard to get later on. And then you go back to here, click on Create a Connection, paste the API key into here, and then save. Wonderful, and you're done. Click on save, and we're going to come back to this a little bit later. Yeah, it's going to say hook not found if you try to save this. So in this case, we're just going to do one step right now. We're going to click on here, create a webhook. Call this whatever you like. Click on save, and then save again. That's going to be fine for now. Okay, nice. We've got a bunch of stuff done already. So we're halfway there. Now, next, you will go to VAPI Voice Agents, and create an account if you haven't yet. Nice. Okay, good. Then you're going to click on Create New Assistant. You're going to call this whatever you'd like, blank template, and then on Create an Assistant. Wonderful. Next, this is where you can use the prompt that I've specified in the Google Doc down here. You open this, and then you just copy this whole thing down there. Do not copy the first part. And then you paste the prompt in here. For the first message, that's what this first sentence is for. You can change this as you like. There's no right or wrong, but make sure to not touch this, the variable here. I'll explain what this means in just a second. Now, in terms of the settings, you can leave most settings the way they are. If you go onto transcriber, you can leave it like this. Voice, I like the VAPI voices. They're honestly really good. Otherwise, I like 11 Labs. Play around with whatever voice you like, but this one works well for me. And yeah, what I'd always do is click on tools up here, then predefined functions, and enable this, which allows the agent to end the call. Next, Yeah, there's a lot of settings in here which we don't need to touch for now, to be honest. You can choose how long the call is allowed to be in the call timeout settings. The maximum duration of the call should be, well, obviously, maybe something like 400 seconds should be good. And the silence timeout, if it doesn't hear anything for 30 seconds, it hangs up. Honestly, you can play around with this, but for now, I just leave everything the way it is. This will be more than enough. Nice. Okay, so next what we're going to do is add a knowledge base. To do this, you're going to click on, first of all, publish to make sure that you save everything. Then you will click on to files and then choose a file. Now I've already prepared ABC Renovations Knowledge Base YouTube. Tell you what, while I'm here, I'll just upload that to the Google Drive as well before I forget. That should be it. Yep, and just to show you what a knowledge base looks like, basically it can just be an overview of your services, of what you do. In case the caller has any questions, the AI can answer from this document here. So how do you get the AI to actually work with this document? Something's gone wrong here. Oh no, it's gone right. So you basically do what I just did. You click on choose a file, choose the file that you want, which is this one, and then it uploads it here. And next, we're going to get into the tools. So by the way, there is the option to upload the file here directly. I would not recommend it because it will make a lot of mistakes. So to do this the proper way is you click on Tools, create a new tool, click on Query, and then you're going to give it the name and make sure to do this exactly like I do, information. Then you can describe when you want it to use it. So for example, whenever the caller has wonderful, and then you click add knowledge base. I'm just going to call this KBABC. You have to write it all together. Once again, a description when this should be used, because you can add multiple actually, which is pretty cool. So we're just going to copy this. That'll work because we only have one. And then file ID, you've got to go back to files, copy this ID, go back to tools. Oh, it's reset. Okay, never mind. Gotta do this again. Add knowledge base. And then down here, you put the file ID that you just copied. Nice, and then you click on save. Wonderful. All right, so the next tools we're going to set up are the check for availability and the book calendar functions. So what we're going to do is, it's actually interesting how to think about this, right? You don't just want to, you can't just give it one tool called calendar. You actually have to, give it two separate functions, because first of all, if you think about it, when you're a human and you're checking if you can book an appointment, you first of all go into the Google Calendar, double check that appointment is free, that slot, and then you book it. And those are two separate actions. So that's what we're going to set up. We're going to go on create tool function, and then make sure to name this like I do, book calendar. Actually, let's do check first. Check calendar. Make sure to spell it exactly like this, and then you go use this. Nice. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on add property, and here you're just going to click on, you're going to type exactly like I do, requested time. I'm actually just going to double check that if that's correct. Because basically what we're doing is, when these things, they will get sent through to make into this scenario, and each kind of tool call has a name, and we filtered here. If the name is check calendar or book calendar, then it's allowed to go through. And what we've also done in here is we have set up a variable requested time, and that has to be spelled exactly like this, like we did. Okay, so call it requested time and then call this the time that the caller wants to check. And this is basically something that gets extracted from the conversation by AI and then gets sent to make.com. Check required, click apply, and you're done. Nice. Next tool is function, another function call. We'll call this one book calendar. Make sure to write it exactly like this. And then in parameters, we're going to type a few parameters. So here, actually, let me check what I did. You can see we're basically just recreating these. Can't give you the template, unfortunately. I don't think that works. But if we go onto book calendar, we're going to see these properties and we're going to type them exactly like this. So we're going to go back to hours and type name. Always make sure to click on required. Then new property, I'm going to call this address. Then again, okay, and we're done. Wonderful. Now, one thing that I forgot to add on the other one as well is the server URL. That's actually what we did before. When you go back to here, we created this webhook, you'll remember, and we get this address. Click on copy address to clipboard, go back to VAPI and put it into here, into server settings. And then click save. And make sure to do the same thing for this one. And for some reason this one didn't work. I probably forgot to click save. So we're just going to do it again. Check calendar. As you can see, these are quite fast to set up. And click on save this time. Wonderful, and we're done. Now, how do we give our agent these tools? Well, if you go back to our project, YouTube Caller, and then you go onto Tools, and then you can click onto Select Tools, and you just select the 3 ones that we've just got, and then you click Publish again, and you're basically done. The last thing that we need to add, which I also just realized, is that if you go into the module of the appointment setter, go down to this Google Sheets module, click on Search Rows, and then, first of all, make sure that you've got the right one selected here. You need to go onto Test CRM, and then you can change this from phone to name. Then you remove this. You scroll all the way down, go onto Tool Calls, Function, Arguments, and then you click Name. All right, and now this will work. You've got to go onto this module as well. Make sure to select the right spreadsheet. Once again, Test CRM, and then you're fine. Wonderful. Actually, I just noticed while editing that we forgot to do one thing. Go back to the tools, and then in book calendar and check calendar, we need to change one thing. Go down to requested time, click on edit, and then you have to add this here in this format so that it extracts the time in a format that we can later use. Okay, so paste that in there, click on apply, click on save, and then go on to check calendar, click on to edit next to the requested time, add this in here again in this format, apply, save, and you're done. Now, the last thing that we need to do is actually connect it up to a Facebook form. Now, this is in make.com, and instead of a Google form, we'd have a Facebook form here. So to do this, what you do, I've actually already got this module as well in here. All right, I'll show you what this looks like. So if you're setting this up from scratch, you'd go into Facebook, new lead, you'd click that. And then first of all, you once again have to establish a Facebook connection, call it something, Facebook, and then you log in with Facebook and so on. You need to select the page, and I'll just show you how I've got this set up in the back end, so you know what this looks like. And this would be, these are connected to the lead forms, right? So you'd connect this up to a lead form, and you've just got to make sure that you've got all of these selected, and then you click on save. And now you have to map these things correctly. Now, how does that work? So what you can actually do is you can go to the Facebook lead testing tool. Go. Then you select the page that you want, and then the lead form. So in our case, we are testing add 3 updated. You click that one, and then you click on create lead, and then you run this once. Actually, let's just unlink this, run once. Probably gonna have to do this again. Make sure to always delete the lead that you just created, otherwise it won't work, and then create a new one. Okay, that didn't work. Why not? Never mind, let's walk through this together again. This should basically be the same thing as what we just did, but do it again anyway. Let's try this again. Delete the lead, create, there we go, finally. I was beginning to think this doesn't work. Nice, so once you've done that, you connect that back up to here, and all you have to do is reconnect these modules. So depending on how you've structured the lead form is, as you can see, this is all in German, but you would have something similar to what I had in the beginning. You'd have the field of the name, which would be this one. Then you'd have the email, which would be this one. You have the phone number, which is this one. And then you have the project description, which would be this one in my case. This is all German in my case, but it's just basically the forms from your lead form. Make sure to do this. If it doesn't show up for some reason here, just always disconnect this, run this once, click on run once, and then send the test lead through. That can sometimes be an issue why it's not showing up. But once you've done this, this will all automatically work. That's all done. this is good to go. The only thing that you have to add in the back end here is your API key. I'll show you where to find this. So you'd replace that with your VAPI API key. So you go into organization settings, API keys, and then you copy this private key. You can create a new one if you'd like as well. And then you click on bearer and you paste that in here like that. I'm going to blur this out in post. And what you also have to add is your assistant ID here. To get that, you go onto assistants, and then at the top here, you click on copy, go back to make, insert that. Then you need your phone number ID. If you just want to test this, you can use VAPI's free phone numbers. To get one, you just click onto phone numbers, create a phone number. VAPI free number is fine. Choose your area code. Oops. Once you've picked that, you have got a phone number. You can call this whatever you like. And then you'll have to wait for a couple of seconds for this to activate. Do not select any assistants here. You can, it's tempting to do this, but just don't. Yeah, let's just quickly wait for this to activate, and then I'll show you how to connect that number up to your make. Now, while this is happening, let me just quickly explain what these dynamic variables in the prompt mean. You see we have name here, and also at the beginning we will have project description and so on, and that you can find in here. So you've got basically what this does is it makes a request to VAPI, and you get the assistant, the right assistant here, and then you call this thing assistant overrides. And what that basically does is it overrides the prompt and changes these variables, name, project description, email, out with text. And the text is of course also dynamic depending on who submitted the form. And then as soon as the call is kind of made, so before the AI even starts calling, it's got a new prompt with the person's name, already the project description and the email. And this is great because for example, if you wanted to send them an email afterwards, you wouldn't need them to tell you, this is my email. The agent already knows. Or for example, it picks up and it knows your name. It already knows what project you're working on. It just makes things a lot smoother and a lot more personal. You don't have to do this, but it's, as I said, extremely easy. I've already given you the templates, so you can add to this as well. If you want to add another one, you would just basically copy this, for example. Always have to put a comma if it's not the last one. Paste it, and then you can change this to something else. And then here, just make sure that you've got another variable mapped in here. So you click on add item, give it a name, and then map this to whatever form you have in your Facebook form. So you can add as many as you like. Nice, so now the VAPI number should have activated, and yes it has. Now what you have to do is go up here and you copy the phone number ID. You can paste this into here, insert number, phone number ID, wonderful, you're all set. Click save, and yeah, you're ready to go. That's it. Alright, I hope you got some value from this video. If so, then make sure to at least give this a go. All the templates will be in the description and you can follow along and set this up for yourself. Now, once again, if you need help setting up something like this, but custom, so not just templatized for your business, you can use the first link in the description to book a free AI strategy session with me, and we can work this out for you. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next one.